Hi, my name is Minal Rajan. I'm Yamini's mother, and I'm here to give you a perspective of, as a mother, what I went through when Yamini was diagnosed at age 13 with her mental health, deteriorating with depression and anxiety, and what it took for us as a family to, get together and help her out of that situation. And I think as a parent, it was. I've always felt that we are supposed to be the providers of all solutions for our children, but at the same time, we don't really have all the answers. And is it really fair to expect from anyone to have all the answers? And when Mr. Everson, her counselor at school, approached us with that, that we had a so-called crisis at hand, and when he told us about it, what really hit me at that point of time was the fact that Yamini had hesitated and had a fear of sharing her feelings and her struggles with her emotions and her depression with us. And even though we had a very open relationship with our children, both my husband and I goofed around with them. We played, we were very carefree, and there was no so-called taboo subjects at home. But even then, for a child to come up to her parents, it was difficult. And it really hit me at that point of time that we needed to do something better, and have had that door open for her to have come into and talk to us about things like this as well. And when Mr. Everson showed us that the path to recovery was going to be through therapy and things like that, we were open to that. It took its time, but I don't think any one of us knew what to expect out of therapy, and we really were struggling with that. And at that time is when, coincidentally, I ended up meeting with Gayatri at Asha International, attended one of the events, heard some of their storytellers tell us about their journey through mental illness and their recovery, the entire journey through recovery, and how, while they are so-called healing or much better from where they were before, they definitely were still struggling. But that was a perspective I didn't have, and that was a perspective that I felt that both Yamini and I needed in our lives at that time. We needed to be on that path, and I was really inspired and motivated by that story, that there was hope, there was going to be light at the end of the tunnel, and that this was not an absolute reality for the rest of her life, that she was going to continue suffering with depression and anxiety, that she can recover and she can thrive and be as happy and successful as anybody else in her peer group. So that really did get me there. And going forward, the one thing I really urge parents to do, whether you would recognize that your children have, any of your children have, or anybody in your family has a mental illness or a story behind that, whether it is already out in the open or not, and God willing, there shouldn't be at any point in time, but what we need to do is to keep the doors open, have that conversation at a very young age with the children, where they don't have that hesitation to walk up and say, why should, if they can say that they bumped and felt and had a bruise on their knee, or they gashed their head open or whatever, if it's something that they can come and tell you as a child, that I need help because I hurt myself, why should anything to do with their mental health not be the same? Why should they hesitate to tell us that they are hurting inside, that they are depressed, they are anxious, and they don't know what to do about it? So that's my thing, that request to all parents, to say, have the conversations early, keep the channels open, be very transparent with your children as to what mental health issues can be. It is a scary proposition for the kids, but it's also a very scary proposition for the adults, because we don't have the answers and we do need the help. So it's okay to hold hands with somebody else and say, can we be on this journey together? And that's what Gayatri and Asha International and the storytellers at Asha did for us. And the counselors and the therapists, they all were there to hold hands with and guide us through this process. And I really think it is not something that we cannot overcome, and we just need to be there for each other. Thank you.